Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? All those nights when you've got no lights, the check is in the mail, and your little angel hung the cat up by its tail. Your third fiance didn't show. Sometimes you wanna go. Troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. Roll out of bed, Mr. Coffee's dead. The morning's looking bright. And your shrink ran off to Europe and didn't even write. And your husband wants to be a girl. Be glad place in the world where
Gentlemen, please. Welcome to the summer series of learning and retirement that we're calling Interesting People.
You're not on. I am.
But you said you
Okay.
Am I on?
Yeah.
All right. So welcome.
Welcome.
Learning and retirement, interesting people. And we're delighted that our speaker today will be Ephraim DuBose. I want to thank Irvin Duggan, for a member of our committee, for organizing this, inspired by Gene Berg's every month on Tuesday program, Those Were the Days. As you know, our format is 45-minute engagement, 15 minutes of Q&A. I'd like to see everyone get their phone out of their pocket now and turn the thing off. All right, everybody do that. Thank you. Ephraim, welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
As we get started, and before we start diving in, why did you play that song?
Because
And what is that song?
cheers.
Cheers.
It's a happy thing. I'm glad to be here. But the reason I played that song is because I feel like there's no better place to play it except here at home amongst all my people and my friends.
I think they feel the same way.
Thank you.
Now I wonder if you would be willing to take us back to the beginning of your time, where you grew up, what stands out, what was important about your early years.
I don't remember. Thank you. First of all, I would like to say I grew up here in Davidson, and I grew up right on the front street of Davidson, which is Depot Street and Brady Alley, where the fire department is and the post office is uptown. My parents, Ephraim and Ophelia Torrance DuBose, were my parents. I had two sets of grandparents who kept me more than they did. But in all, I had a very exciting life coming up. They couldn't hardly do anything with me coming up. I was moving all the time. I stayed into a lot of things, good and bad. But at any rate, for me growing up as a child, as a young kid, um, I had a lot of family behind me. My grandmother on my mother's side had 19 children.
Wow.
My daddy's mother, she had 9. So I had a lot of family, and I still have a lot of family. And it was very exciting for me to, when I started out at the age of 5 years old, going to Ada Jenkins kindergarten. And that was very exciting for me. I got to meet a lot of teachers, a lot of friends, and it was very good. Um, Later on in the years to come, at the age of 6 years old, um, I was very aggressive, and I went to Davidson Elementary, and I got the chance to become a Cub Scout at Davidson Presbyterian College, and that was very exciting also for me. That played a big role in my life. Also, once I got acquainted with the kids and everything in Boy Scouts, excuse me, and Cub Scouts, I mean, but once I got acquainted with everybody, I began to develop a habit of playing basketball over in the church, over at the church. And there was a college student who came and he approached me and he said, "Would you like to play basketball?" And I was looking at him like, I don't know how to play basketball. But not thinking that my brother would teach me to shoot basketball in the hoop with the tennis ball. That's how we started out playing. And I became pretty good at it.
Tell them how your dad made the basketball hoop, what that was.
Yeah, he made us a basketball hoop out of a bicycle rim. He actually had a wooden board where he nailed it onto a wooden stick, and he would put it up, nail it to the tree, and that's how we began to play basketball in the backyard. Um, Once this guy, Monroe, college student at Davidson, he talked to me about playing. He said we would be able to go over in Johnston Gymnasium and practice in the afternoon after school. So I enjoyed that part. And then when we got through practicing, he told me one evening, he said, you're going to be playing basketball here in this gym. I was like, what? And back then, this was 1968. There were some wonderful guys, college student players, basketball players, Mike Malloys, Doug Cook, Dave Moser, Jerry Crow, those guys. They stood out amongst the crowd. And so I did. I got the opportunity to come out at their halftime basketball and, play. And I was nervous, scared, and came down the court, got the ball, dribbled it, went and laid it up, missed the shot. Everybody was like, boo. So for some reason, everybody else, they was doing their little shooting, and I went over in the corner and bounced the ball, and I shot. When I shot, it was swish. And my God, the crowd started playing and the band and everything. And I was running around, didn't know what to do, where to go. But that was just a little bit of those exciting moments that I had growing up. I got to know a lot of people growing up in Davidson. And we had one grocery store. That was Doc Allison's grocery store. And my father worked in that store. And we had Betty Sieg's Cafe and the M&M soda shop. And my mom worked there at the soda shop. And I got to meet a whole lot of people through them places, being around them. As I look out amongst the crowd, I can see the famous hamburger and cheeseburger maker right there, Mr. Quackenbush. And I would go to his store and call the Hub, and he had the best. When I tell you the best, that man had the best. So, like I said, coming up in the latter part of my years, I began to develop standards of going to school, getting to know very important people in life. The Congressman Jim Martin, his wife she was one of my teachers, substitute teachers. And I would go to their home in the evening because my mom worked next door, helping out. And I would go in the evening and play in the yard with their daughter, Emily. Plus, we went to school together, and it was just like family to me. And they still are to this day. So many of you out there, that's just like family to me, and is family. As I look out amongst the crowd, I'm always that you're a part of my life, and I'm blessed because I can look back right now at my age and still see these faces. It's Brickles. It's a whole lot of you out there, and that just does a lot for me. It means a lot to me.
Ephraim, a person, when we lived back here, the decade of the 80s, a person that meant a whole bunch to our kids and us was a teacher named Paula Kelton, who you probably can't see, but
I can't see her. Where is she at?
Sitting right there.
That's it. Hey, Mom. Oh my God. Yes. I wouldn't miss this for the world. I'm glad you could make it. Thank you. Thank all y'all for y'all support. Thank you so much. Yes, she's meant so much to me in life, Miss Kelton. She knows my whole family. She really does.
Yeah.
And that's very important to me. That's a blessing.
When we met in the pub to talk about this, you also shared some of the things that were really hard about growing up. And I don't know if you're interested in sharing some of those thoughts with people, because all of us growing up had positive things and tough things. There's some things you'd like to share about those early years here in Davidson?
Yes. Growing up in Davidson, there was some negativities. Certain people couldn't go certain places, and blacks amongst a lot of people. I got to see this, but I wasn't really a part of it because it was not allowed in my home through my mother and father. They never taught negativity towards me, which they already knew what it was anyway, but they never showed us that part. Yes, I used to see things coming up as a kid that wasn't so pleasant. There was several restaurants that the blacks couldn't go in the front door, and I never understood why as a kid. But there were some good things. Most of those restaurants, my mom and grandmother worked in, and they were there, and I could go in as a kid, sit down, eat a hamburger, hot dog, French fries. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you get through, you got to get up out of there though, going back home, or whatever you had to do. But I mean, I got to enjoy, my mother and my father and my grandmother and them. And I asked my father one time, I said, Daddy, I said, why they don't allow blacks in the restaurants? He said, son, it's called change. He said, you just keep on living and you'll see it one day. So I began to see what was going on around me, my surroundings. And it was a whole lot of good come out of it because, like I say, Mr. Quackenbush, yeah, this restaurant, I could go in there anytime I got ready and just sit down and have a hamburger and just have a conversation with him and his wife and daughters. And I was small, but they know my whole family also. They know the DuBoses and the Torrances, uh, both sides of my family. These things began to deteriorate, I thought, um, for a long time. I thought they did. There is still some negativity, and there are still some people who throw rocks and hide their hand. Nobody's perfect but the Father. I don't distill in that type of thing. I try to stay positive as much as I can around each and everybody because we're all God's children. We got to love one another regardless. It doesn't matter who you are, what color you are, what creed you are. You got to love everybody. That's one of my points.
Hallelujah.
Thank you.
So let's leap forward from the Davidson Elementary School to high school. And what was that transition like? And what would you want to share about that phase of your life and what's going on, what you're thinking?
It was exciting at first when I first went from junior high to high school, and I was very excited about going to high school. And you know, some things ain't what you think they are. And I thought it was gonna be smooth sailing, and I found out totally different. And it caused me to become rebellious towards my parents, and a lot of things didn't go right. I was expelled from school, high school in North Mecklenburg.
What year was that? Was that your freshman year or sophomore year?
No, that was my sophomore year.
Sophomore year.
And I got kicked out of school. And my father told me, he said, son, you're going to have to learn, you know, responsibility. And I said, I just don't want to go back no more. I choose not to go back. He said, well, then you choose not to stay here. So that got that little bit. So I made up my mind, went back to school, and it just didn't work out. It just didn't work out. So I quit. And he told me once again, he said, okay, if this is your decision and you made it, he said, you either gonna work or you're gonna get out of my house. And I thought about my grandmother and them. I said, well, I just gonna stay with my grandmother. And my grandfather wasn't having it. Boy, you gotta go home. But my grandmother being the loving person that she was, both of them, both my grandmothers, they kept me and raised me. I still have my mother and father in my life every day, loving every day. But I finally broke down and I asked my dad, I said, well, Dad, I'll go to work. He said, okay, I'll get you a job. And he did. He got me a job. I worked maybe a year and a half on that job, same job he had at Burlington Mills in Mooresville. And I left
What type
there.
of job was that?
It was a blue jean denim factory, manufacturer. They dealt in blue denim, and it was a good job. It was a good job, but I was just fed up with it, and I said I can't take this. I got to go. So I did. I stayed with my grandmother, and I told her one afternoon. I said, Grandma, I said, I'm finna go. She said, you finna go where? Where you going, boy? I said, Grandma, I'm moving out. She said, moving out? I said, yes, ma'am. I said, I'm going to Charlotte. She said, how you gonna get to Charlotte? I said, I got away and I met a friend of mine, and me and her got together, and she already lived in Charlotte, so I just joined her. And I worked. I worked my way up, and I stayed in Charlotte for 13 years. Not good years too, because in the 90s, in the early 80s and 90s, there was no confusion, no rat raving, not a lot of bad things going on, in other words, in Charlotte. So I got through to the good part of it. And I worked, and I developed different skills. I worked at the auto center, CSI Park Auto Center. I worked there for 6 years. And when I left there, I came to work for a construction company called FN Thompson. And that was the love of my life right there, that job there. I got to build many buildings, jailhouses. Matter of fact, one facility that y'all are very familiar with, Carolina Panthers football stadium.
Hmm.
So I got to help build that.
What type of work did you do in that construction? Were you
I was on rod welder. Rod welding.
welding?
Yeah,
Whoa.
rod welding.
Yeah.
Mhm. So it was very exciting, but I had to, get away from that too, because it focuses on your eyes, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I can't see a lot of people out here now. But anyway, it was good for me. And I returned after 13 years back home here. And I found the love of my life, Wanda, as y'all all know, my wife.
You need to,
And,
some people may not know, because some people don't live in the big house and are new to the Pines.
Yes.
So tell them who Wanda is and what she does.
Well, Wanda is a housekeeper here at the Pines. And she's been here alone, and the building's been built, I think, pretty much.
She's been here 30 years, I think, hasn't she?
30 years.
Yeah.
So she came like 5 years after the facility was built. So yeah, if you ever meet her, you'll know who she is. Most definitely. You won't have to say much, she'll say most of it for you.
And isn't she the person that makes sure that the folks on the first floor are sane and keeping their places clean?
Very well taken care of. They'll tell you that. Yes, that is Wanda all over.
Right.
Yes. Me and Wanda have been married going on 14 years now. We have 2 lovely daughters, 4 grandkids. I have one, my oldest grandson, he's in the military. He's over in Okinawa, Japan, in the Air Force. I have another granddaughter, Monica, which she should be coming to work here. She might be here already, but she should be coming to work here at the Pines.
And what does she do here at
Well,
the
she
Pines?
just graduated from Huff High School, so she's going to be a server here at the Pines. So I'm looking forward to that. That's less money I got to give her.
And tell us her name again.
Monica Alexander.
Monica Alexander.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. She's a very exciting person. She's just like her grandmother. So
that means she tells you what to do?
That tells you everything.
Right.
That tells you everything. Yes. And I have a lovely daughter. She works here, so off and on at the post office, downstairs post office. Mary Barringer. And I have another daughter who just got over cancer. Came clean from cancer, breast cancer. Sharika. And that's the love of my life besides her mom. So but all of them are very sweet. Let me frame that. All my kids are very sweet, loving and caring and responsible. And that's something they taught me, responsibility along the way.
Now, do they all live in Davidson, or do you all live elsewhere?
No, they all live right there where I stay, in Cornelius.
Cornelius.
Yes,
Right.
in Cornelius. So we're all one great big family. And I have a grandson. He's 8 years old. That's the man of the house. Yeah, of all the houses, put it like that. Marcus, his name is Marcus Alexander, and Sharika is his mom. And Mary, my daughter, she has 3 kids, which one I mentioned was the one in the military, Victor. And then she has Lamelia and Lily. We call her Lily. Her name is Lamelia. And those those are the cats right there. Those are the cats. Yes. I love them to death, though. I love them.
This may seem like a funny question, and one that you and I haven't talked about, but going back to your mom and dad and your grandparents, do you know the origin of the name DuBose?
That name was oriented to my great grandfather. Which his son was my great grandfather,
Sure.
and it was Reverend Ephraim DuBose.
And you're named after him.
I'm named after him, yes,
Yeah.
and my dad.
And your daddy.
Yes, most definitely.
So was that whole line of people here in Davidson?
Yes, from Davidson.
Okay.
Yes, originally.
So that goes back, way back.
Yes, way back. Same way with the Torrances. You know?
Yeah.
They were. It's very interesting because my great grandfather on my grandmother's side, on my mom's side, he was bought from slavery, and so my grandmother was a Torrance through that, and she married my granddaddy, which he was already a Torrance.
Huh.
So she never had to change her last name.
Oh my God.
But all in all, like I said, our family was originated with and collected with whites here in Davidson. We had white people to come to my grandmother and grandfather in them house, bring corn and greens and all kind of things, sweet potatoes, and all kind of things. We were just one family. They wasn't apart from us back in that day. And my grandfather, both of them, they would go in their gardens and share back with them what they had to give. So that's how we originated here in Davidson, both my families, the DuBose side and the Turner side. My mother, she worked for many white people in life, and she raised white people's children, white kids. She raised them, and while they went out to work, and my mom stayed with them and raised them. I'm sure y'all probably are familiar with McEver.
Yeah.
My mother raised all her kids, Mr. McEver, Mrs. McEver. So, and Joe Pender from Davidson used to be a police officer. She helped raise his kids. And my mom, she worked at Davidson College. She worked at Burlington Mills also. And she just worked. She retired from Hardee's here in Cornelius. And my dad retired from Burlington Mills. Then he works over here at Davidson College. So they stayed busy all the time. And they taught us the way of life is called be nice to other people, be respectful, be kind to others as you will have them be kind to you. And
so true.
Yes. And
let's leap back to now. And would be interested in hearing you talk about what it's like to be here working at the Pines, what you're proud of. You probably don't want to talk about what's frustrating, but
no, not whatsoever.
but what you feel comfortable sharing, about your current work.
I'm very happy with my job in itself because of the residents. I thank y'all for me being here. Like I said, y'all play a very, very big role in life. If y'all wasn't here, I wouldn't have no job. But actually, I love it here. I've met many wonderful people, which all of you are wonderful people. And I have one, where is he at? Oh, there he is. Oh my. That's why I like to come to work. That is a very special person in my life right here at the Pines. Both of them, him and his wife.
He's pointing
And,
at Art
it's the
and
Art.
Sheila
Yes.
Engelbart.
And all of you are very special, especially in my life. Special and Miss Jackie, you're sitting there. There you are. That's the first time I've ever been called a bum.
A what?
A bum.
A bum?
Yeah.
She called you a bum?
Yeah. She messed with me all the time. I was riding one morning. I was riding on the vacuum machine, and I was coming down, and she saw me, and she said, "Look at you riding on that machine, you bum. you need to be pushing, because I used to push the vacuum all the time." I said, "Well, this is a vacuum cleaner." And she looked back, she was like, "Oh, well, whatever." But I admire Miss Jackie so much. I used to see her walking uptown all the time. She's always been about her business ever since I've been here at the Pines, and I adore that in her.
How many years have you been here?
6 years,
6
going on
years.
7.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
7. So my thing is this: I see a whole lot of faces that I see every day, and y'all entertain me a lot by speaking and saying how you doing and just caring in itself. That's what means a lot to me here at the Pines. And we won't talk about the bad things because I don't have any right now.
So Ephraim, I walked in and there's this pink thing sitting here.
Oh, that's my cat. That's
Your
Pinky.
cat?
Yeah. I adopted
May
that
I
cat.
lift it up?
Yeah. Be careful.
So what is this thing anyways?
Well, this was a toiletry stand.
For a plunger?
But not the plunger,
A brush.
but a brush.
Oh.
Yes. And it was never used. So and it was sitting on the side. And I guess they didn't have the nerve to throw it in the garbage can because they're sitting on the side. And I said, "Oh my God, don't do this. This is Pinky." And I said, "I'm gonna adopt Pinky." My cat. But after all, I have been a wildcat all my life.
There you go. So if I understand it correctly, this belongs to someone in this room. Would that person please stand? It's Helen Patel.
There she is. Thank you so much.
And I'm walking down the hall and Helen is chasing me saying, "I want to tell you about
Pinky.
Pinky."
Yeah.
Apparently this was bruised and damaged and in the garbage, and someone pulled it out and redid the face and did the ears and Pinky.
Pinky.
And who did that? So you're welcome to come up and see Pinky. And if you'd like a toilet plunger that looks like that, we can help. But this sits on the drinking fountain outside of the housekeeping office. Yeah.
So if you'd like to come by and say hello to Pinky, you're more than welcome.
I couldn't believe this.
Oh God.
So this tells you a good bit about this man and his talents and his interests. I think what would be fun to do right now, if you're willing, we hope you're going to be here for the rest of our lives.
I hope so.
But we also suspect that you're beginning to think about,
Leaving?
well, not leaving.
Oh,
Well,
I was trying to say, no,
how do you-
that
what-
ain't,
what do
that
you-
ain't gonna work.
well, what you lay in bed and you're thinking about your future. What is appropriate to share?
When I lay in bed thinking about my future. That means I ain't gonna get up no time soon. So when I think about my future and as I go on in life, I would love to continue to be amongst y'all, be with y'all and around y'all each and every day that's possible for me to be. My family, staying content with them, showing them love, support, and care. Just doing things in life, you know what I'm saying? Wanting to be a part of helping people that are a lot of people that are in pain, frustrated with life within itself. Those are the type of people that I would love to help and be around and show them that there's a different meaning in life. I would like to speak out on that, showing them love, because there's a lot of people that don't have love. A lot of people have been hurt in their lives. And I would like to be someone to try to comfort that pain through them and let them know there is hope, there is love. And like I say, we must love one another. That is the experience in life that we have to go through. There is no other way out until he takes us out. And you know who he is. So that's my thing.
Wow. Ephraim, the conversations that we've had have been very meaningful to me personally. One of the things that sort of comes into my head are the things that your mom and dad said to you back when you were working to try to figure out what you're going to do and either get out of this house or you get a job.
Oh, yeah.
But all the comments about loving your neighbor, doing good.
Yes.
It sounds like you've pulled all of that together.
I haven't quite pulled it all together. I have a neighbor that gets on my nerves.
and
but I love them. I love them. They're friends. They're friends.
All right.
Yes, I just love being a part of anybody, you know, that needs love, that cherishes other things in life, that they want to have somebody to help them with in life. You know, you can't leave life alone itself because you have to live it, right? You have to live life. So you can't leave it lonely. And everybody that got breath in their bodies have lives to live. But you have to bear down, and don't think so much of yourself. Think of others. Because we're all not in this world alone. We're here together. And that's why we have to come together and help one another in life, in general itself.
Is there anything else that as you thought about this that you wanted to lay out there?
I think that's about it.
You know, Nancy and I first met Ephraim, he knocked on our door of our cottage one day. I hadn't seen him driving down the halls yet because we were new. And he had learned that Nancy had written the book about Ada Jenkins and wanted to talk about that. And from there, we went to dinner with Ephraim and Wanda at Flatiron.
Wonderful.
And it just started a relationship
Yes, most
that
definitely.
is something we value.
Yes.
And I want to tell you in front of all these people what an excellent job you've done today. And so before we start the Q&A, let's let them know what you all think about this.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I really think Ephraim could be our pastor or our therapist, one or the other. It would be great. So let's start the Q&A. We've got a mic on this side and on this side, and raise your hand and please speak into the mic. Ephraim will repeat your question so you all hear it again, and then he'll go at it.
We've known each other 5 years. And I know your family, your wife, and your daughter. Anytime I see any of the three of you, I smile. Thank you.
Thank you.
My question is, how many pairs of shoes do you own?
You gotta repeat it.
How many pairs of shoes do I own? Ah, let me count. Let's see. Wow. I'm gonna say at least about 41 pair. That includes dress shoes too now.
I'm not sure everyone can see the shoes he's got on. They're these bright red, beautiful sneakers.
Almost.
And that was a question back here.
You had a strong father at home. When you were raising children, you were a strong father at home. Yet today we see so many children growing up without a father around. I mean, these single mothers trying to do everything. Please talk about how fatherhood changes children and how it changed you.
How fatherhood changes children and how it changed myself. Yeah. Fatherhood starts with self, having to be strong in life and having to know your role in life, to love, understand, and withhold your children. For me, it took a whole lot of love for me to give. I mean, a lot. And that's why today I'm so proud of my kids and they're proud of me for being there for them. Always be there for your children, no matter what the circumstances are. Don't give up on them. Don't ever give up on your children. That's not the way. The way is love, live, and let live. Thank you.
Hmm.
Hey, buddy,
Oh.
how you doing?
Oh, no, I'm not going to answer his question.
Hey, I just wanted to say I appreciate you. I see you in the hallway. You always say hey to me. You're always friendly, and thank you for imparting your wisdom today. And but I know that you're a fisherman, right?
Oh, most definitely.
Oh yeah. So I was going to ask you if you had been fishing lately, and I know you like to cook your own and fry your own. So I was also going to ask, what's the best fish to fry, and what do we put on this fish? Is it hot sauce, tartar sauce? You're a man of good taste, judging by your shoes. So I just wanted I wanted to get some more wisdom here. So
Oh,
throw that out.
all right. Yes, I like to go fishing, and I do cook my own fish. And the best fish to cook for me is croaker. That's my favorite. And always keep you some hot sauce and mustard. And don't forget the bread. Thank you.
All right, you got one right here, question.
This is not a question, it's a comment. Because he said his parents said, be kind, be respectful. Oh my, it makes your day when you see Ephraim in the hall, because he always in a good mood and glad to see you. So he really is following his parents' instruction, and we thank you, Ephraim, and my rug really appreciates you.
I guarantee you does. Thank you so much. God bless y'all.
I think there was a question. There's one back there. Go ahead.
Oh, me? Well, you know, I'm a recovering newspaper reporter, so I have to ask, why did you get kicked out of school?
Oh,
Oh boy.
here goes.
I knew that was coming. Not listening. Did you hear? For not listening and not following instructions. That's what got me kicked out. Wanting to follow the leader instead of being the leader. Thank you.
Good response. Got one back here.
Yes. I was curious about the role of religion in your early life, and also how that's continuing or not continuing in the current generation.
The role of religion in your life as a kid and now.
The role in my religion as a kid up until now, I had no choice but to go to church. With my mother singing in the choir, my father singing in the choir. And if you wanted to get some of that fried chicken, you better go to church. But all in all, I did take upon their reflection on that. And I go to Torrance Chapel. My family and I go to Torrance Chapel in Cornelius. I am on 2 choirs, and I'm not going to sing. I'm on 2 choirs, the elder choir and the men's choir in Cornelius. So if you're ever around that area on a Sunday afternoon, first Sunday, if you're ever out there, you more than welcome to stop in, and I'll hit a tune for you.
What time are you singing?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
Yeah, 10 o'clock. Yeah,
All right.
10 to 12:30.
And is the chapel big enough to take all these people?
We'll make room.
There's a question back here.
Well, thank you very much, Ephraim. Your grandfather, I think it was your grandfather who was a preacher, would be very proud.
Thank
But
you.
I'm curious to know if you ever do any preaching at the church, because you have an incredible way about you and a great message. And I just wonder if you've ever been preaching at the church or thought about preaching.
I have been called the preacher because of my dressing, the way I dress. My wife gets on me a lot. You just got to wear a tie every Sunday. I was raised that way. And I am not bragging, but I'm a pretty sharp dresser when I dress. I think I think I'm pretty sure some of you seen me dress. But for us preaching, that's mostly at home. But I don't mind speaking, and who knows, perhaps maybe one day I may become a minister. But in the meantime, I'll leave that job up to the minister.
It's so interesting that that question came because as you were talking, I was thinking exactly, this man is preaching in a magnificent way to us.
Okay.
So is there a question back here?
All right.
Not a question, but I'm going to tell on you, Ephraim.
Oh, Lord.
I saw him in a grocery store and he was so decked out. I wasn't sure it was him.
Thank you. Thank you.
Other questions, comments? Back here?
Wonderful. Thank
Ep-
you.
Ephraim, thanks for doing this.
Yes, sir.
One of the questions I have, you talked about growing up over on Depot Street.
Yes.
I would be interested in your thoughts of what has happened on the west side of Davidson. Coming here 2.5 years ago, things really have changed from when I was here at the college. I wish you could comment on that.
I've seen so much change. I ain't even, let me check and see if I got any dollars in my pocket. The change has come on this side in Davidson to where it is like a lonesome to me. It's like lonesome when I come on this side of town. I feel the lonesomeness in my heart from what it used to be when I was growing up as a kid. You never felt despair. You never felt not loved, not wanted at any given time. That for within itself has changed. It's changed a lot of lives. It really has. And from living on this side for so many years, to moving on the other side, west side, I never wanted to see that come. I never thought it would happen. I thought I'd always live over here on the black dirt in my life. And I asked my father, I said, Daddy, he said, I said, Daddy, I said, why do we, well, he came home, he said, we're gonna have to move. I said, move? What you mean we're gonna have to move? He said, son, we're gonna have to move. We're gonna tear our house down. I said, why? He said, son, he said, change. He said, you have to know about change in life. Things change. You have to move on. I said, but Dad, don't let them tear the house down. And he was like, son, I have no control over that. But thank God that there was a program that come about. Some wonderful lawyers here in Davidson, one being lawyer Lord. There was a program where he helped the blacks prevail to the west side. They had to go to courts. My grandmothers, both of them, both my grandmother's parents, mother and father, they had to go through the court system to get loans to rebuild their homes over on the west side. That included helping my father and mother to do the same. Then you start seeing development over on that side. And things just changed. I got to the point and I was so angry. I was so angry at what had happened because I wanted to stand on this side. And I told my dad one time, I said, man, I ain't even going up there no more. I ain't going on that side of town no more. He said, well, that's your choice if you don't want to go. He said, but you need to go on over there and get them shoes out the shoe shop. So, I as time went on and I became a young man, I kept with me all the wonderful memories from over here up until now as a grown man. And that's one thing I can say I can hold on to in life. Now, for me, I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a choice. I'm here at the Pines. So that's where I'm at.
That whole story is something that many of you probably don't know about, but there are histories that you can read about the transition that occurred on this side down on Depot Street. That
In Brady Alley.
and yes, in Brady Alley. And I would encourage you to understand that because that was central to the lives of many people that we cherish. We have time for one more question if there is one out there. Well, let's do another hallelujah thank you to this good man.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank y'all so much. I really enjoyed it. Hey, thank you.
So I think you just got your doctorate from Harvard.